Hey guys, Wells Knight here, and welcome to a brand new mini-series on my channel. As some of you know, I've been going through a little bit of vanilla builder's block, and a good friend of mine, an old friend of mine who I've known for quite some time, sent me a message and said, you know, I just finished up my single-player world, and if you want to take a tour of it and maybe get some ideas, that would be cool. And I thought it was a great idea, so I'm here with my good buddy Jancy. How's it going, man?
How's it going, guys? What's up, Wills?
I'm doing well, and you're going to show me around what you have created over the span of how many episodes was your first season?
220 episodes, which is absolutely
So
nuts.
a
It's
couple
crazy.
videos, so this took a couple videos.
Just a few. Just a few. It was over the span of, I think it's been now, this world started a year and 3 months ago, if I'm correct. So it's been a long time. A lot of hard work's gone into this place, and it's turned out quite.
It looks phenomenal. And then you finally brought this world to an end, and recently started up a new single player series, right?
I'm sorry, Wills. Already we cut out, but I'm assuming that you said it for a second. But that's all right. I can make it up what you said, and I'm guessing they said that my world has started a new one. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, it has, and we're already going pretty strong in that, which is absolutely awesome.
Awesome.
Not a very different world to this one, but I guess we can get started. Let's walk around. Let's go check this place out.
Let's
Any
take a
particular direction taking your fancy? The main city, the outside. What are you looking for?
Let's go down.
Let's go down. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
let's just start digging down. Do you anything?
Interesting choice.
Anything down here?
You might find a villager spawner or something, but that's.
No,
other than that, just dirt and stone.
Yeah, you lead the way, man. You know where stuff is, and I
All right.
don't. So.
Okay, wonderful. So let's get started on here. Now, I guess I could also tell you guys why this world might look a little bit derpy in some spots. And pretty much this world, I started to try and build better in Minecraft, which I think we can say I've definitely learned a thing or two in this time period. So basically, we'll start where it all began. Just walk through here and start at like the first houses in this Sunflower Plains biome. This over here was my first real Minecraft house in the world, and it was like an attempt at learning to build. A lot of different things in here, and it's the start of what became now the main city, which was never actually named at all. Never really named.
Wellsville has a nice ring to it.
It has a nice ring to it. I don't know if it'll work though. So this is where it all started, where it all began, in this house here, and of course, not to brag or anything, but this house down at the bottom, right around here, the very first house, which I had to keep. You can't get rid of a thing like this.
This one right here.
The amount of work that went into this kind of house, you got to.
Oh, for sure.
You got to keep it.
This looks like an exact copy of generic Wells Knight House number 7.
Ah, yes, very familiar with that one.
Must have seen my tutorial.
Yeah, multiple times to get it right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It came out well.
It works, and it still fits within the theme. I like how.
Well, yeah, it's somehow after dating, it still looks alright.
Yeah, it does, and I like how here you've got the acacia in the corners, which is not true of most of the other houses that I'm seeing around here. But then up here, you kind of worked in a little bit of acacia as well. It kind of blends together. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it looks good.
Not 100%, but in the end, it worked out really well, so I'm going to go with it.
Sounds like a plan.
Pretend I've got thought in that. All right, so that pretty much, let me explain to you the way the city is laid out. So this area here was the first area that we're standing on. Across this bridge on this side here is where I've got what's known as my market area. And this side that we're on is basically the general living area and a few other things.
Okay.
A few other things. So walking around here, this was probably one of my second build in the thing. This was a little bit of a small blacksmith, which is kind of just simple, nothing spectacular, just a small bit of stuff going on. And a lot of these houses that we've built here have just gone ahead, and I've just added in a lot of stuff to the insides, but I haven't finished every single one in here.
Okay.
Another aspect of this is I wanted to make all of the houses in this world kind of a little bit more livable, just make it feel like people are living in here. And the plan was actually to put villages in, but we all know zombies and villagers, they don't really get along too well.
This is true.
That
mortal enemies.
Yeah, it's surprising after how long we've played Minecraft, I wouldn't have known that until I did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is pretty much just like the way I've done houses, just a bit messy in some ways, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, just unplanned, but planned in some weird way.
I agree. I think it's a lot easier to work with kind of, when it comes to interiors anyway, I think it's a lot easier to work with kind of smaller spaces and fill them up.
Yeah.
Like this back little kitchen area over here is a perfect example. You know, you got a lot of detail and interest kind of worked in, but it's still, I mean, what is this, like a 4x5 space? Roughly?
Yeah, very small.
I mean, and that's a perfect example of how you can kind of work in those small areas and make it all come together.
When you consider how big a block is, I mean, it's meant to be a meter in Minecraft. You gotta fill up a lot of space to get in there. So by the way, where we're going in now is the is not the lighthouse. This is the bell tower that we've built, and this was a build that didn't turn out anything like what I would have expected it to turn out at all. Like completely different to what I had thought. But this one is basically, I was thinking of the skyline of the city when I built this, and how from a distance you want to not just have one large tower, you want to kind of spread the love across the city, you know?
Sure, absolutely.
Besides, it's got a beautiful view out.
It does.
Got the mountains over there. Got the rest of the city over here. Got the bell.
This is a huge area.
It is.
And I like the bell.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
This was actually a viewer suggestion to use the. I mean, I created it with gold blocks, and you can imagine how horrible that turned out. But the stained clay worked really, really well.
It does, and
Really
I will
good.
say, you know, I've built a couple bells in the past, but I don't think they worked as well as this. And I think kind of lesson learned is scale, because you know, like
Size matters. Yeah.
the bells that I've built in the past have been, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Much smaller, and it doesn't work nearly as well. This, on the other hand, works really well, I think, because it's such a large area.
Well, that's what I've learned in this world, and what I'm trying to take across to my other world is that like it's more working with shapes than working with basic building techniques, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the time, I would find myself in that predicament where you can't put a bell in to this size without building the room big enough to fit the bell in.
Right.
So it's just a matter of learning from this, because this world is all about learning. Take it that way. That's why I built this world, to learn, and I think things like that are important lessons to have taken away from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So carrying on this way. By the way, there's a lot of terrain stuff. Maybe not in the city, but that's another thing that I've started doing. A lot of terraforming and changing up of terrains and stuff like that. So we'll get to a bit of that, but there's one little biome that I want to show you guys, which is it's one of my favorites. If anything, probably my favorite build in this whole world. So when we go through here, this is my market area that I told you guys about. Look at that, looking, I think, pretty average. But you've got like the stalls going on here. You've got for instance, this way, your butcher, your baker, your fletching store where zombies have stolen the doors because I've got villagers in here.
So you have a butcher and a baker? Do you have a candlestick maker?
You know what? When I said that, I realized I have really made a big mistake by not having a candlestick maker. And to be honest, it would be so easy in Minecraft. You just make a whole bunch of you just do a torch shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did I not ever do that? Now there's no way I'm going to live up to this world. And over here, we've also even got a barbershop, which I decided to. This was when bone blocks just became a thing, and I decided to make a little floor there. That was pretty much the idea that I messed around with the floor. Was the whole reason that I put a barbershop in the place. By the way, actually, have a look at this. This is just a weird, funny thing. Can you see the similarities between the painting to my right for you and my face? Can you see my face in that painting?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like backwards in some weird way. It's one day I was looking, I'm like, wait, is that me? But it's yeah, this is one of the less exciting saws inside. It's just pretty much it's more for the sake of having it from the outside than the inside. This one. Then over here, this is one of the most recent additions to the end of my series, was the apothecary store in here.
Oh, with some using the netherwart blocks as decoration.
You know, if I can't get them anywhere else, I'm gonna have to find a spot.
Yeah, I mean that it works too, and then the mushroom blocks as well.
Yeah, well, the biome I want to show you, which actually we can get going onto, is a biome which uses mushroom blocks quite a bit. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So coming in, like, it's basically what I've tried to do here. By the way, is I've tried to hide redstone in the village. and I'm trying to do a whole bunch of just. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but there was some pistons going on there. But basically, I decided I wanted the whole village to be villaged up. So I wanted to make villages, spawn them in that big mountain you guys would have seen, and get them to pop up here. So if you come under here, yeah, there we go. We've got a little villager distribution center over the whole. Yeah, I think it's because you're in creative, it's not bumping you out, but. Or maybe it could even be because we're on a server. But basically, it's got a little sensor. There we go. To bump villagers out as they come into the village. So villagers just spawn naturally around the place. You wouldn't even realize it.
Ah, cool.
Little bit of a thing. It was a project that never really turned out completely, but it went well enough.
A clever idea, though, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Then under here, of course, is just a standard old chicken farm, filling up the chicken things here for me to eat as much as I can.
Yep.
Just a simple old one. And that's not really too exciting, but it's all about hiding the redstone in here, you know, just making the world interactive while keeping the world your own as well, you know, looking good.
For sure. Good. Which I think is really the best. I think some of the coolest builds in Minecraft, at least when we're talking survival Minecraft, are builds that blend form and function. You know, when you can get that cool redstone build that also looks amazing from a visual standpoint. I think those are honestly some of the coolest builds you could possibly come up with.
Exactly, it's creativity on both levels. You know, the redstone, as much as people don't realize it, it's also got its creativity behind it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, coming down here, look at this. This is probably my favorite build. If it's in my top 5 favorite builds in this world, and it's what I call a mushroom cavern biome. I don't know what it actually could be, but I've taken a lot of time and just built out this tunnel. Built out a whole mushroom area down here, and it was a really, really big amount of work on this, but...
This is really cool. Yeah. And I hadn't seen this. I did actually, I remember watching the episode where you made the flower shop above this.
Yeah.
But I did not catch this one. This is super cool.
Yeah, this one probably dwarfs that flower shop build now.
Yeah, for sure.
One really cool thing sorry, carry on, Wells.
I was going to say, and I've never really noticed until just now how well mycelium and regular stone can actually blend in the right circumstances.
Well, the thing, you're completely right here. I think it's the lighting that's the main part of that, because it's making it darker on all the blocks, so it kind of blends them in a little bit nicer, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because one thing about this build is if you notice, there's not many lights besides these on the roof here, which are actually... They were temporary lights, but basically the lighting is something I've hidden here. So if you have a look into, for instance, here, look at this, right down here. I've hidden lights in all the way down, into this shaft.
All the way down to this abandoned mine shaft, I see.
All the way down here to level 0. So lights in there, and I've gone ahead, and this is a little thing I've learnt, is just using a bit of lighting, like hidden lighting like this, and you can get really cool levels. So basically putting in a block and then just filling it up with leaves is the way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice you don't actually see the torches. You don't see the glowstone blocks. But for instance here, look at that. Netherwort, that looks like it's glowing right here.
Yep.
And it's just like small things like that, little tricks you learn for making your builds a bit better in the future.
Yeah.
And before we leave this biome, I want to show you the big mushroom. We can't deny that there's a giant mushroom in this room.
There is indeed.
And this is actually a bigger project than what it might look like at first, because every one of these blocks is a generated mushroom block. So you know when you break a mushroom block, it becomes a big circle. It becomes all not circle, but it's all red. You know, it's all red. And this one here, if you have a look on the inside, it's got the browns too. And I wanted to make sure it looked like a proper generated Minecraft mushroom. So every one of these blocks has been built somewhere, like generated on a big mushroom and pushed into place with pistons.
Okay.
So it was actually a really big job for such a small thing that could have been a lot simpler by me building it. But it turned out well. I think it turned out well, just being a bigger than average Minecraft.
Yeah,
Minecraft
very
mushroom.
Cool.
Yeah. And the mushrooms, they're another story, man. All I can recommend is make sure you've got a mushroom island biome within 8,000 blocks in the nether, let's just say that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Probably closer than that, if possible, you know.
Yeah. Lesson learned for the new world as well. That's what I made sure I had that in a few blocks. In fact, my new world spawn, I think, had it in 20 blocks of the spawn.
Oh, nice.
Great. Always good. So over here, this was one of the failed projects, I guess, of the world. And by the way, this world was never finished. So there's a lot of ends that are missing. We had a polar bear. That one disappeared.
Oh,
Peanut,
that's cool.
Peanut ran away. Yeah, Peanut ran away. This was meant to be a zoo that we had over here. That we would have animals in just as like kind of a fun build.
Sure.
We had Endermite. Endermite left us. Turtles, the guardian, is the only one here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one that survived of all my animals. It turns out I really should not be in charge of animals. That is
Duly noted.
thing that I've learned. Yeah, thing that I've learned in this world. Always don't let me use animals. So by the way, this is one of my weirder builds up here. It's a little bit different to what you would expect in a medieval themed city, but I like to think of weird ideas and see how I would do them. So inside here is a grocer, which is sort of a mix between a medieval style with a modern day grocer twist, I guess.
Sure.
In some weird way. And take a look around. It's got like little things I've tried.
I see. So you're using pistons and armor stands, presumably,
Exactly.
to make different, goods that you would buy from the grocer, different vegetables and fruits, and that's really clever, actually.
Yeah, thank you, Wills. It's one of those things I was messing around with, and I'm like, why have I not done this before? It's very simple, and it makes such a cool effect.
Yeah, I've done something similar with armor stands and helmets in like an armory to have a helmet sticking up like it's on a table.
I've seen that on your Hermitcraft castle. Yeah, it's similar aspect, I guess. It's really useful, and I've actually got over here. If you want to check out over here, the one of the most underwhelming builds in this world is a broomstick. I tried to try, and it just wouldn't work. I had the idea. It just the practice wasn't there.
I mean, it kind of works.
What I could have done was actually something like this. Probably putting it up at the top. Could I can't. Oh, I can't place it there. I know. Wait, why can't I place this? Okay. Maybe it's because it's a stair. Okay, there it is. That could actually have worked. Upside down like that. And where is the wheat? There. That could have been a pretty cool looking thing if I'd thought about it then. But yeah, that's pretty much just like some of the mess around things, the learning aspects of this world.
There you go.
Just building. Oh, you got it. Improving the world. So now this is no longer a single player world.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that would have worked so much better had I been thinking the day I built that.
That's cool though. I mean, experimentation is half the fun. Sometimes you come up with an idea and you try to implement it and it falls flat on its face, but it's still fun to kind of try out those things and sometimes you learn something you can take away and improve on in the future as well. That's a really cool concept. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Learning stuff you don't need to learn to know what you're not meant to do. Just messing around.
That's deep.
Here's also yeah, exactly, man. you come to my world, you get some insight, man. This is a little thing which was a viewer suggestion again. I built this library. You can see it's a very different style. Look at that, like hard rectangle, like hard straight corners. It's become, what is that, an octagon shape of this building?
Yeah, well,
if you look from the top. Somewhat, or diamond.
Hexagon?
Hexagon?
Wait, no. It's four. It's four sides.
That's six, yeah.
Well, kind of four sides.
Yeah,
kind of six sides. It's a geometric shape. I was never good at geometry.
I should be, so that's embarrassing. But this one over here, I had originally just a flat roof, and it was really boring. So someone said, put a tree on it, and I did.
Oh wait, so this is a roof?
This is a roof, yeah. So this is of my library, and I built this a very long time. This was probably in the first 10 episodes of me building, and if you come in here, this is where it is. This is what it looks like.
I see it.
Sorry,
I see it.
Lost you.
I found you. I could always TP you. I could always TP to you if I need to. Okay, so that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, I don't know, you'll probably catch where I've been learning to build and like how I've improved over the world as you go through. But then there's also just a useless redstone feature.
Ah, okay, so pistons expand. I was wondering why you had a couple of floating bookshelves here.
Yeah, well actually I think these ones over here, the piston's just broken. I don't know why, but they're all meant to just retract and then come back to make this a working table.
Okay.
Little things, you know what I mean? Little things. Adding on.
I like it.
And Yeah, I like it as well. I tried to do it in my next world. It didn't work, but that's it's been done, and that's why I'm happy. I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
So also other little things I thought about with village building, and you're a world builder. You know what I'm talking about. Getting a little bit of reason for building things that might not necessarily have reason unless you thought about the world. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where this fire department comes in. Over here. Welcome to my fire department.
What is it?
It's a fire station. Fire department? What would you call it?
Fire department. Okay. I thought
Fire
you said
department.
something. You said it very quickly with that Australian accent, and I was like,
Yeah, I was about to say.
what are these things? These words?
If I get too Australian for you, you can ask me to repeat it.
You know, I deployed last year to Iraq with someone from Australia. It was a coalition sort of thing, you know. And
Yeah.
she said so many words that I had never heard before that are apparently like Australian slang. Like I practically needed a translator to understand what she was saying half the time.
Well, I need a translator to understand what Australians are saying all the time. There's like different levels of Australian. You know, there's like new level Australian, which goes absolutely crazy. I don't like. I listen to people and I'm like, I don't know what you just said.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so here's our Nether hub, which was. I thought bringing in the world into the Nether, basically.
Yeah.
So if you have a look at the portal, I've got it in a tree. Which is
This
fun-
is a very
fun-
not nethery Nether hub.
Exactly.
like
That's what I'm going for.
Can't even tell that we're in the Nether. Well, I can hear a ghast, but other than that, you can't tell we're in the Nether. Just looks like
Yeah,
another.
see, that particular mob is the same reason why I don't have mob sound.
Yep.
That screech. Oh, it's painful. As you can tell, it wasn't finished. This was never finished. It was all just a big pathway over here, which was bound to be finished, but just never got completed. But you know what? It's all part of the world.
Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, the concept is there. And actually, I like how, like, I'm kind of looking around, and I'm separated from you, but I'm just kind of looking around, and, like, I see where you have tunnels that split off, and once it kind of makes this split, you drastically change the style of the tunnel. Like, there's one, where was it? Over here, I think? Yeah. You go down, and then there's like an end theme tunnel. Presumably, this I'm assuming goes to your end portal.
Yes, and quite coincidentally, we've got Endermen spawning in it as well.
I see that. And
I've
then,
never had that before.
And then you've got this black stained clay or black terracotta, same difference. And then the white.
Yeah.
Those actually go together very well. This is a very kind of like, I don't know what it reminds me of, but it's very cool.
It's meant to be a rib cage going to my skeleton spawner. So basically,
okay.
I've themed the tunnels to where they go to, and I guess I can show you my mini. This was a planned big farm area, which just never turned out. So if you go through this portal,
TP to you real quick.
TP to me,
Oh.
easy done.
Oh, you're not in the same dimension. Never mind.
I didn't even know you couldn't TP across dimensions. So it shows you how much I use that.
Where are you at? Overworld?
Down. Are you in the Nether again?
Yeah, I'm still.
I've lost you, Wills.
We're separated.
I can see you. You can see my name tag. Here we go. You can TP to me.
Okay.
I'm in the bone tunnel. So basically, if
Oh.
you go through the bone tunnel thing.
I'm on my way.
Awesome. Getting lost in my world.
Indeed. I mean, that's how immersion works, right? You're supposed to get lost in the
Exactly.
world as you explore and find new things.
You know what happens when you start getting lost in your own world? That's when you have to worry.
Oh, it's happened to me, for sure.
Yeah. So this over here is a little bit broken, but this is my skeleton spawner. There's a spawner down there, and it's helped me get all those bone blocks, which you've become. You've seen. I do love me some bone.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I've noticed the prominence of bone blocks in your world, and honestly, I don't blame you. It's one of the most beautiful blocks in the game, in my opinion.
I think I may have lost you again, Wells. I don't know why, but Discord's been messing a little bit around for me today.
Bone blocks are beautiful. That's all I was saying.
You can tell me that 100 times. I'll listen to you there. Oh man, I love them. So bone block build right around here. This is my gatehouse for the back of this village. Around. If I lost you again. Yeah, a nice little interesting
Yeah.
build. Wasn't detailed as far as I wanted to, but you know what the issue is. This was me getting my zombies in my world. I've got a nitwit controlling the gatehouse.
Oh.
Right around here. That is the biggest issue. You know, letting anyone pass through here, and that's what you gotta learn. Don't use nitwit villages.
Yeah.
Get one. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get what you pay for.
Oh man, don't you? Well, learn your lessons. Learn your lessons. So here we go. This is a build over here, which kind of I've learnt a lot from, and this was trying to build a big thing and split it up into many small things. I like to think of weird concepts and like try and see if I can change the way I build. So it's kind of a block of apartments built up and built in weird ways, and it turned out all right, I think. But learned a lot from it.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and that's actually a generally good concept, is just varying the shape. I see you've got height differentiation within this build. You got a lot of parts that kind of jut out and stick out here and stick out there, different entrances, windows, details, all sorts of stuff going on. It makes for a very interesting build, all in all.
Exactly. I found that I was like going into builds by starting, I want to build a house. Then I build a house and I'm like, I'll build another house next to it. And then they don't really match as well as I could have. I think it was a nice little fun thing. And then I haven't finished off all the interiors of this because interiors really, they're not my thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that one.
Yeah. It's but although I feel like they're important as well, but I just end up missing them all the time. Here is my my attempt at a improved Dark Oak Forest.
Okay.
Who really likes the Dark Oak Forest? I'm probably offending many people.
Well, I mean, I'm living in a Dark Oak Forest.
Yeah, but your whole thing about living in it is getting rid of it.
Well, that's true. Fair enough. I mean, one of my goals is to tear the whole thing down and build things in its place, but
Yeah. I always love the grass of it, but I find the trees are lacking in shape. They just kind of look like a little stumpy thing. And as far as my research went, I couldn't find what a dark oak tree is actually meant to look like, so I just made it up. with a bigger custom tree, and that's pretty much what I've done with all these. Just playing around, learning different weird things.
Yeah, these are very cool.
Yeah, little change. So pretty much that's this part of the city done. I've got a little mansion which was never completed over here as well.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much this side of the city done. I got like a few other little things on here, but besides that, we've got the whole other end of this world to go now.
Okay, well, why don't we wrap up this episode right here? Is this world available for download for people who want to download it and look at it for themselves?
Yeah, it sure is. In any of my worlds of my series, there should be a world download at the end of my worlds. If not, I can always give you the link as well.
Sounds good. I will put a link
fairly
to the description, or a link in the description. I'll put a link to the description in the description. I'll put a link in the description of the world download and also a link to Jancy's channel, guys. Started the new. This world is amazing. Would you say it was 200 and some episodes?
220.
Yeah,
220.
That's a lot of episodes. You have some stuff to binge watch if you want, and I encourage you to do so. Also, check out his new series as well. Jancy, a good friend of mine, someone who I've known for a very long time, but we've never really had the chance to get together and do some stuff. So I blame time zones. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Go send Jancy some love from me. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.